Hey vinyl community, it's Tone Scott and I am back with a second video. My first video, of course, was my introduction into the vinyl community, and if you haven't seen that yet, I think it's pretty cool. I show some pretty cool records, I believe, and give some acknowledgement and shout outs to some pretty cool people. So if you haven't seen that, I'll leave a link below. Maybe you can check that out. I'd appreciate it. I was going to do my second video based on a contest that Diana, Digging in the Crate, had just finished up. And even though it wasn't going to be participating in the contest, I just kind of wanted to show some of the albums that I acquired last year. And I believe the catch was whether or not they were released last year. So I'll probably do that for my next video. I thought that was just a great idea. And so even though I'm not part of the contest, I'll probably end up doing that as another video. Probably my next one, but this is going to be Vinyl Tag 2018 participation, and I'm going to see if I can get through this real quickly because I only have 15 minutes. I don't have enough subscribers yet on this channel that YouTube will allow the videos to go past 15 minutes. So here we go really quickly. First video you ever saw in the VC, and I don't remember the exact video, and I don't even remember the exact channel, but I do know it was either Derek Higgins or Mean Mr. Mayo. So it was one of those two. Number two, favorite record you've ever discovered through a VC video. There was a channel I used to watch. The guy stopped making videos, and I forget his name. Maybe some of my UK brothers or sisters will help me out, but he was a DJ or a presenter, pretty popular, I guess, in the UK, had a radio show, I believe, and he did a channel where he showed new releases on vinyl. And I thought that was a great idea. He hasn't made a video for a while, but I learned about the band Temples. And the album is Sun Structures. It's a modern psych band, and I really got into them. Probably learned about this 2 years ago. Yeah, so I've been listening to Temples for at least a couple years. And this is a great album. Temples, Sun Structures. Number three, sorry. What are your other hobbies? And I brought some props for you guys so that you can see. Number one, I'm massively into gaming. Yeah, so huge gaming fan, very serious about it. I have been since I was that high. And yeah, everything from vintage gaming to modern gaming, from Atari 2600 to all the modern systems, and I love gaming. So yeah, that's one thing. Another thing that I'm very serious about is I'm very serious and very passionate about the art and culture of traditional wet shaving. Yeah, shaving. You guys know what shaving is, but shaving with things, even if it's modern equipment, shaving with things that would include shaving brush, vintage double-edged razors like this Gillette Fat Boy. See that? Yeah. Or even modern versions of a double-edged razor. Something like that. To even using these guys right here. This is a Wüsthof straight edge, and this was restored. It's probably from the 40s. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so we're going to be starting here in the Los Angeles area. We're going to be starting something called the Los Angeles Wet Shavers Society, and I am going to probably be leading that for a while. So it's a pretty cool thing. Other thing I don't have any props to show is I'm huge fan of the Epicurean and culinary arts. So I love to cook. Huge cooking fan. Somewhat of a self-proclaimed expert on culinary cutlery. That's just me. That's what I say about myself. But I love to cook, and I love the culinary arts. And that includes the art of barbecuing. So I'm into that as well. But one thing that kind of ties in with that, sort of, is I'm also huge into coffee. I'm a big coffee aficionado, and I'm not a roaster by far. I'm not a roaster, but I'm what would be called a brewer, and so I'm into the different coffee strains, the different types of roasting techniques, but not being a roaster. and the different brewing techniques and all that stuff. And so I love coffee, and so that's I'm really big into that too. So next thing is number 4. Why did you start to collect? My dad, my mom and dad's record collection. My dad was a very serious record collector and musician, and he was a huge stereophile, and so I learned a lot about high-end audio at a young age, and you know, how to cultivate and curate a great record collection through my dad. So that's how I started. Number 5, do you play an instrument or are you in a band? Yeah, I do. One thing I don't like to talk about too much, and I haven't really mentioned yet, if you watched a video lately by Baraka P-Dub, he kind of mentions something about me and what I do, but my entire professional tenure has been as a music industry professional, from holding chairs at major record labels to artist management on pretty high levels, and but predominantly as a published and well-acknowledged songwriter and music producer. So not technically in a band. I have had a record deal. I know what that feels like. It didn't work out too well. It was a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, being a songwriter and a producer, you kind of sort of in one big band with a bunch of different people who aren't in the same band. But yeah, so I love music. I love to play. Number 6, ever worked in a record store? Big shout out to my main record collecting partner and my brother, Mr. Matthew Stephen Chance, who's also known as DJ Chance. Managed the oldest existing record store in North Los Angeles, and I used to just hang out and work the store just for fun. So yeah, that was cool. I have worked in a record store, not officially, but yeah, I guess that kind of works in answering that question. Number 7, favorite album of the year you were born. This one is one of them. Anyway, Wings Over America. I love live albums. I love live albums so much, and this is one of my favorites. In my top 3 live albums of all time, believe it or not. Wings Over America. Number 8, what classic record have you never heard? Trout Mask Replica. I have other stuff by the band, but Trout Mask Replica I never got into. I don't own it, and I've never heard it. But 2018, I will own it, and I will listen to it in depth. Number 9, show a guilty pleasure album. I can't do that. I don't believe in the concept of guilty pleasure when it comes to music. It makes absolutely no sense to me. It never has. I've never understood the concept. I don't judge anybody for music that they listen to, and they shouldn't judge me. They should be happy for me that I'm exploring music the way that I am called to explore it. And I'm happy when I see people showing records that my worldly mind says, that doesn't look like something you'd be collecting. Why not? That's their musical taste, and they own their musical taste, and I own mine. So there is no guilty pleasures. Number 10, what's the strangest record you have? This is one of them, at least. Wild Mania by Wildman Fisher. If you're into novelty records, or if you ever listened to Dr. Demento as a kid, you'll know Wildman Fisher. Strange record. Number 11, show a picture disc. I didn't have this record at the time that I got this, and this is the first thing I saw, and I thought it was cool, so the Danzig record. Yeah. Not a huge picture disc fan, but that's a good record. Number 12, best posthumous release. I am not going to show a David Bowie record. I'll leave that to everybody else. But Escape, Michael Jackson. Excellent record. Love it. Number 13, what artist do you impulsively collect? That was kind of easy. These guys. I got this one because I saw Scott Waters show this record. But it's real easy to collect Kiss because they're constantly making new stuff. Like every day you can find something new that's put out by the Kiss camp. So yeah. and I love Kiss. So let's see. Best blind buy would be this artist, who I do not know how to pronounce her name. Her name is spelled lowercase I, capital E, capital T. Iet, or is it I-E-T? I don't know. Somebody, can you help me out with that? But the album is called So Unreal. And man, this is a great record. I'm glad I took a chance when I saw it. Blind spot artist, probably Fela Kuti. I have a couple Fela Kuti records. They are originals. I love them. I listen to him online. I know a lot about him, his history. But every time I see a record, I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy that, and I always pass it up. So, you know, I know a lot about him, but I kind of ignore the records. I don't know why. I don't know. Number 16, your favorite album cover. This one is one of them, but it's very high on the list. That would be Lee Oskar, his debut self-titled release. Lee Oskar was the harmonica player for the band War. And this is just a great, great album cover. Beautiful concept. I've always loved this, even as a baby. I would pick this up in my dad's collection, and I would just look at it. At least that's what they told me. I mean, I'm talking about 1 year old. You know, I'm looking at this record because I just loved the way it looked. Lee Oskar. Let's see. A musician you've met. Pick one. I don't know. Prince. It's a long story. It's an interesting story for any personal time that anybody in the VC and I might spend together. But yeah, I love that guy as an artist. One of my favorite artists of all time. But yeah, personally, that's a whole different story. But Prince is one. So number 18, show a record with sentimental value. Sing on Tinkerbell Records. This was my first record ever. This is what kicked it all off. I was 2 years old when my parents bought me this, and I still have the original copy. Pretty damn good shape, unbelievably. But you know what? I mean, obviously my parents took care of my records when I was 2 or 3 or 4 years old, but when I was old enough to start asking for records, I remember just really taking good care of my records. So, you know, that's kind of cool. Number 19, your favorite album no one seems to know about. It's a toss-up between these two. Nick Hakim, the Green Twins, and I'll bring him up in a later video. Or Coltrane, Side Effects of Make Believe. I don't think anybody knows about these, so I hope I'm wrong. But yeah. Number 20, favorite album of a genre you don't know well. That was kind of a hard one too, because I try my very best to become very knowledgeable about all genres, mainstream genres, subgenres, but one genre that I'm really not very well versed in is electronica. I'm just not. I don't know if that's by choice or just the way it is, but so I pulled this EP by Tangerine Dream. I do have a couple albums, but I love this cover. I love the cover of this album. So, or EP, I'm sorry. This is the Warsaw in the Sun EP. I love it. So that's it, guys. Thanks again for watching. Again, if you haven't seen my inaugural video, I'll leave a link below. But again, I just want to thank you guys for accepting me into the VC, and also for watching. Talk to you guys soon. God bless you, and thanks.